Hello again everyone, and welcome back to another installment of PokeFodder. Today I'm going to do a mass fusion. I have been saving up all of my gems and my cubes from the Dragon Gem Cup. I've also been saving my booster packs, and as you can see, I have a lot of storage taken up with these cubes. So today I'm going to go through and bump up some of my characters that I like to use for fun, but mostly I want to pump some level ups into the groups of Pokemon that I use a lot and use in play. There's fun things like here, the Cacnea, where you can actually farm him. So he would be a possibility, except for I can farm him. Probably not going to go that direction for this particular raising. And I'm going to start at the bottom. Because Charizard now gets 2 MP, I'm going to go ahead and work on bumping my Charmeleon up a little bit. His white is a 50. It's a pretty common number. So having a chain level of 51 on him will serve a nice purpose later down the road. He does have a lot of misses, but 51 is a sizable chunk of his wheel, so that's going to be useful down the road if I want to do an evolution, things of that nature. So we're going to move on, and when you're using the green cubes, you can only use them for the level of Pokemon that correspond to the rarity of the cube. So the common cubes, green ones, can only go towards common Pokemon, whereas the blue cubes can go towards anything. So some options I have here for the uncommons are Pupitar, because he does evolve out into Tyranitar. This could be a good one to go with. I don't use him a whole lot, and there probably are better options. I do like the Tentacruel decks. I use them with Water Deck. Very serviceable. I've gotten a ton of these off of packs. Poliwhirl, you guys know that I love Poliwhirl. He's a very nice niche piece for the current meta. That's an option. Got Mr. Shuppet right here. So, yeah, he's always serviceable. I don't use him as much as some people do, but I don't need to. I was holding on to 2 because I did a video, but I'm going to go ahead and pump him up. I don't use him a lot though, but I think it's a good place to put resources into. And there we go. Have a second chain level, so now he's 12. And there's not many Shuppets running around that can beat a 12. So I feel good about that. He does come in handy. He is one of the better runners in the game. So if you're starting out, he's pretty easy to get. So if you're starting off looking for a runner, you could do a lot worse than Shuppet. And having an 11 or higher on Shuppet is not a bad way to go. Gonna go ahead and give some love to Poliwhirl. This, because I did Shuppet and I had a second Shuppet, that's gonna allow me to bump Poliwhirl up a chain level as well. 50, like I said, is a really common number. 40 is an interesting number because if you do an X attack, that puts you at 70. So the one, I'm most likely going to roll 40. So by adding the one there, adding an X attack plate to that makes him a 71. Again, 70 is another really common number. You've got Salments, what is the name, Lugia, have 70s. So that'll give me the advantage there. I like the Dragonites. I like the Dragonairs. Flygon, I think Flygon could be on the right deck. I think Flygon is very serviceable. I like his Flyaway. Evolved with Flyaway is an amazing ability. This is really a tough decision. I only have the 2 cubes, and I don't want to waste them. Because as you can see, I don't get a whole lot of these. Out of everything that I have, I think this is the one that I have the least of. I do already have the chain level on him to 61, which is going to put it at, what is that, 91? 90 is a fairly common number, so I've got coverage there. I've pulled so many Reuniclus. I'm running a Reuniclus deck as one of my decks right now because I really want to get up into that top 1200 so I can get the 30 booster tickets. But on the regular, I don't run Reuniclus decks. I like to mix it up and play around and put different teams out there. If I'm working on my water deck, Lapras is a really good option. He fits in nicely on the water deck because of his ability to put other Pokemon to sleep. Always beneficial, but I think for now I'm going to skip it. And this is a really tough decision. The Mew, not so much, actually, because in Masters League, so many people run Mew that there are a lot of Mew on Mew battles. And I think having the 31 for his gold is very, very useful. So, going to go ahead and bump that up. I feel really good about this. This is one of those where if you have Mew, you have cubes, you're wondering where to put your resources because those green EX cubes are really rare, actually. That's one that you can put into effect and not regret your decision. I feel like because he can deflect the 100 powers from attackers, I think that will serve well even moving forward. Zapdos is another Pokemon that I feel, no matter what changes in the meta, I feel like he's gonna have a place. And I've never once regretted having the 101. A lot of people run Zapdos as well, so again, that 50 that you see there is gonna come into play. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump that up to 51. And now, I can bump him up pretty good, but I cannot get him to level 5. And in reality, the better decision here is, because Mew has no miss at level 5, the better decision is, and it doesn't come into play a lot unless you run into Poliwhirl. You guys know that I like Poliwhirl kamikazing into Mew because it will turn him into a huge miss section. So I'm going to eliminate the miss completely by putting Mew all the way up to level 5. And I believe this is my very first EX that I've taken all the way to level 5. So need to use just a couple of these cubes to get them the rest of the way. And now the decision becomes what to level up. As you can see, I've leveled up my gold with my previous 4. But his dodge is one of the best moves in the game. So leveling that up means that if he got burned or paralyzed, I'm not sure, because Psychic and the Shuttle Flip are going to be the same size. So I'm not exactly sure which one. I don't know if it just randomly chooses one or the other to become the unusable portion of the wheel. At the same time, one of the main reasons why you're running Mew is to deflect those really strong attackers that do 100 plus damage. So it warrants thinking maybe I should go with the gold. And one of the other main reasons why you're running Mew is to attack into purples. So this isn't an easy decision. As you can see, there's merits for both. There's no reason to level up to 50. That's, if you can consider 50 being a weakness, that's Mew's weakness. Although it does work really good against runners. But because I'm using Mew to dodge against heavy hitters and attack into heavy purple teams, I'm going to go ahead and go with the gold. I don't know that there's a bad one. The dodge is really good, and I do use him on defense, so dodge, you can make the argument either way, quite honestly. Just depends on how you're using him and what you feel is best. I think the book, quote unquote, says to level up the dodge. So take it for what it's worth. The gold is already half the wheel. So there you go. So I feel really good about those. I am going to take, after I'm done loading everybody up here, pumping up my guys, I am going to take them into battle. And I do take on a full Deoxys team. And I do want to show you the absolute easiest way to defeat the team, to defeat a Deoxys team. And you're looking at my squad here and saying, well, I mean, you're leveling up nice pieces. I mean, definitely Mew, Zapdos are, I mean, they're really strong pieces. But easily beating a Deoxys team, how are you going to do that? And I'm going to show you. Like I was saying before, Zapdos is one of those that I feel like is going to maintain a presence no matter what the meta does. So I feel really good about leveling him up as well. And look how much I've spent. I went from well over 800,000 coins, and now I'm down here in the low 500,000. So I've been saving up coins, and it goes quick. So if you're saving up your coins, and you're like, you know, I've got 500,000, 250,000 coins. It goes quick when you start getting EX level Pokemon up to level 5. You guys know that I like the Dragonair to Dragonite evolutions. I think it's one of the better. You can do a nice 1-2 punch, land on Magnetic Storm, and then Shed Skin, and then attack while they have part of their wheel missing. I could dump my cubes into Dragonites. I don't know how often I'm going to use Dragonite regularly. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I have a second Mew, which, if one Mew is good, two Mews is better, right? Reshiram, Zekrom. I have a lot of options here. There's a lot of different ways I can go. You could always bump up. Like I was saying, the cubes don't have to actually match what it is that the same level as the cubes don't have to match the same level of rarity as the Pokemon that you are bumping up when it comes to the blue cubes. So if you are going to level up your Shuppet, you definitely want to level up the Will-O-Wisp, because 10, 11, 12, like no matter what, even if you get Shuppet all the way up to 20 on chain level, he's not going to win a whole lot of battles. Although I have to say that a 20 Shuppet would be pretty nasty. He could, whether you X-Plate him, that puts him at 50. He covers Mew, Greninja, Speed Deoxys. That would be a pretty filthy Shuppet actually. But you want to bump up the Will-O-Wisp here because that's what's going to leave the burn on your opponent. So we're going to knock him up to level 5. And this is a really strong runner now. I'm probably going to have to figure out a way to use him more often. Maybe try him out in league play. Yeah, he's a very strong Pokemon right now. So now that that's all done, let's take the newly leveled up team into Gym Cup play, and I want to show you the absolute easiest way to beat a full Deoxys team. There it is. 2 attacks, a speed, a defense, a normal, and then you've got Shuppet. Probably wondering, how is this little ragtag squad going to beat the full Deoxys team? Easily. And the answer is, he's going to go first, and he does a really interesting play right here. He forfeits, which is the easiest way to beat a Deoxys team. So I had to leave that in there. Sorry it wasn't the insight you were looking for, but I thought it was pretty funny. And it is the easiest way to beat the team. So let's go ahead and pop open this little 2-win booster. I haven't been doing that. I've been saving up my cubes. But let's see what we get here. And nothing good. So that was a disappointment, but it's free Pokemon, so you really can't be that upset. Now let me actually take my team into play. I'm going to take it into league play. And we're just going to see, do these upgrades make a difference? Do they come into play? It's a pretty even match team. Deoxys Speed, Shuppet, Meowth, the Latios and Latios, and Zapdos. So, because I think Shuppet's a really good runner, but he's really fragile. So I'm going to protect him by sliding him in here. Some people like to just run out and put him on one of the corners, inner corners. I don't want to put him out there because I have a feeling that either Latios or Latias would come flying down the lane and just completely obliterate him. He chooses to bring out his Deoxys Speed. So now I have 2 options. I can either straight go to the goal to cover it, because he's 1 turn away from capturing my goal, or I can take out my new Pokemon that I've beefed up a little bit. Always use the double chance. And the chances are, because Deoxys Speed is going to land, I believe it's on his 40, which spins over to miss or dodge. No, it flips over to the 20, which I have all the 20s covered, and I did the double chance just for insurance, because chances were I was going to roll a 41 off of that. That was the biggest portion of my wheel. So right off the bat, that threat is eliminated. But now he's going to come and follow that up with Latios. Now the scary thing about Latios is that it has Flyaway. And it's not going to roll Flyaway often, but it's put me in a bad situation here where if I bring Mew to the middle, or if I bring Mew right next to my goal, he can attack and either land on my goal with Flyaway, or land 1 space away from my goal, and then I've just got Shuppet for defense. So I'm going to drop in Poliwhirl here. That's going to allow me to at least bring out an extra Pokemon, and I can move Shuppet over to my goal if he attacks and lands on Flyaway. So it gives me more options of what my next play is if he lands on Flyaway. He chooses not to attack. He brings Zapdos out. So I move over here. There's no threat anywhere, but this is also going to set up a surround if he attacks and lands on fly and chooses to go to the middle circle. This gives me coverage. And I don't know what he was thinking. So he uses a swap plate to threaten my goal, but there's no threat because I have the super easy surround kill. I will absolutely take a super easy surround kill, especially of such a strong Pokemon as Zapdos. He brings the Latios to set up the bedposts there. I don't want him bombarding me because I don't have anything that can cover their 110 and 120 attack. So I move Shuppet in the middle, which will set up the easy surround. If they tried to attack, he decides to mirror me in case I attack, which I'm not going to. So now I have to run up the outside basically. And he goes to put Mew on his, kind of to cover up his goal. So I'm going to press forward. I don't remember what Mew's wheel is, but I know he has that fake out where if he lands on his gold, it switches places with you. So you want to keep Mew away from your attacking your goal, basically. He decides to attack. That's the best roll we can have. 70, it's his biggest piece. As you can see, it slides him over to the miss, and on the respin, he does get the fly away. We had him there for just a second, but it didn't work out. We only have one play here, covering up our goal. And again, the Latios and Latios are very fragile, but they do cause problems when they're near your goal. He does the switch here, and now that's what I was worried about, is Mew attacking our goal with the possibility of doing the switch, automatic game over. So I want to eliminate that threat. I have the stronger white attack, but I need to land on it. If he lands on his purple attack, that's not the end of the world, because then it puts me between him and my goal. Get the miss, but on the respin, we do pull out the nice victory, which is going to trigger our evolution, which is why we're running Charmeleon in the first place. And I forget what he does next. I think he goes and covers his goal, maybe. Yeah. So he covers his goal. I'm going to press forward with my Charizard. With just Speed Deoxys, it's not a strong Pokemon. He backs up and puts his Latios to help protect the goal. So I'm going to press forward and cover up his entry point. I can't remember what he does here. I think... Oh. Kind of a wasted move. I don't know that there was a purpose to that, but I'm going to press forward with my Zapdos. Again, if I can pinch off the corners, that creates a terrible situation for him. And I'm going to knock out Shuppet in the process. So now I'm in the process. My thought is I just want to suffocate him now. Make it so that he can't bring Pokemon out onto the field. And then start pressing forward. This is the only way he beats me is if I land on Miss or Purple and he lands on Gold. So we're going to trigger Dragonite, which is The reason why you're running Dragonair in the first place is to trigger the Dragonite, who gains the 1 MP off of just using Dragonite. It also moves his gold, or his purple up to 3 stars. And a 3-star purple is not a bad thing. I'm not sure why he would move his Zapdos off of his entry point there, but I will gladly take it. It allows me to pinch off him bringing out any more Pokemon unless he attacks one of my 2 Pokemon, and I have 2 pretty strong Pokemon guarding the corners now. Typically in my matches I end up having a runner over there who, you know, they're definitely not as strong as having a Zapdos or Charizard on the post. And I want to keep I want to keep the corner that Zapdos is holding down. I want to make it so that I have a replacement in case he gets knocked out, which is why I moved the Shuppet over, because I didn't want him to be able to attack the Shuppet without moving off of his back line. And as you can see, 12 is never going to beat the 100. So we lose Shuppet. It's not a big deal. Although if he does attack Zapdos and knock him out, then he's going to be able to bring Meowth back out on the field. He chooses not to attack, and he chooses to go after Poliwhirl. And that was not the right decision. It didn't work out for him. So I pretty much have a Stranglehold at this point. He brings out... what did he have? I forgot. He had the X attack, the Hurdle Jump, and I don't remember what the third plate was. But my whole thing here is just to... I still have both of my corners covered if he attacks and knocks out either one of them. And I've also pressed so that he can't really make any moves. If he brought Latias out, I would have the easy surround. His only thing that he could do would be to come out and hit Fly. And just maybe try to put pressure on my goal. I don't know that he had enough turns for that. As you saw before, 70 is most likely to roll. It works out again. And elimination from the match. So this one is basically over. Once you get to the point where you just have the one Pokemon and the other guy is completely surrounded your team, there's not much you're going to be able to do. The advantage of having, I will say, of having a runner on the corner is while they're not as strong, they can move the 3. They do have the 3 MP that they can move and attack the goal if he moves off of his goal point. As is the case, I don't have that. But I'm in a really strong position here. It would still, if you get to this position and lose, it's going to take really horrible spins on your part and super lucky spins on his part. And I'm trying to think, if you attack here and win this, I'm forced to bring Mew up, and that would give him time to go over and attack a corner and try to free up a spot, which Latios is definitely capable of doing, and there are a handful of Pokemon that are capable of doing it. It doesn't work here, and that is the game. But it's pretty much game over at that point if you get surrounded. So the team of buffed up Pokemon proves victorious twice. Once by forfeit, I know, but it's Deoxys. I'm going to brag about that, right? But in a regular league match in Masters Play, it definitely worked. I don't know that any of my buffs actually proved to be the difference there. but it didn't hurt for sure, and it did create some advantages with different Pokemon. So let me know in the comments below, are you guys buffing up your Pokemon? What are projects that you're working on? And have you gotten a lot of the cubes from the Dragon Gym Cup? Let me know in the comments below if you like what you've seen. Hit subscribe, and until next time, guys,